They floated above Earth's orbit, 5 ships of alien design, sleek, predatory, dripping with arrogance. Their commanders, each from a species that had conquered entire sectors, stared at the blue planet below with amusement. Humanity, they believed, was still crawling through its technological infancy, still chained to gravity, still bound by primitive governments that could barely cooperate within their own world. The coalition of alien races had come together for the first time in over a millennium. It was not friendship that brought them here. Aliens of such power did not befriend, they tolerated. They gathered because Earth had become noisy. Human signals had reached too far, their probes drifting beyond the edge of Sol's light. What was once considered an insignificant world of organics and water had suddenly become curious. And curiosity in the eyes of the galactic powers was dangerous. The leader of the Valkar Dominion stood in the central holographic chamber of his flagship, Vrathun. His scaled fingers traced across a display showing Earth's defense satellites and orbital stations. His voice slithered across the communication link, smooth and venomous. So this is the world the Terrans call home? Amusing. They've barely learned to split atoms, yet they believe themselves explorers. A booming laugh echoed from another channel. Primitive, yes, rumbled Commander Threx of the Kortal Empire, a race of iron-skinned brutes whose ships resembled floating fortresses. But ambitious. I admire that in a way. They remind me of us before we learned how to burn ambition into obedience. You mean before your empire learned how to enslave half the outer rim? Another voice interrupted, a cold, analytical tone belonging to the crystalline being known as Xerax, a member of the Ether Collective. Her kind existed partially in energy form, their consciousness spread across light. Let us not confuse admiration with sentimentality. The human's biological evolution is impressive, but strategically, they are unworthy of consideration. The fifth voice, soft yet resonant, came from the oldest among them, a being known only as the Arbiter of Sil, the sole representative of a race so ancient that even the others dared not cross it. You all speak as though this world is defenseless, the Arbiter murmured. Do not forget that the unknown is often the seed of extinction. Many have underestimated new civilizations before. For a brief moment, silence held. Even pride paused when the Arbiter spoke. But soon the boasting resumed, as arrogance always does. Commander Threx thumped a massive fist against his control chair. Enough caution. I say we divide the spoils. The Kortal will claim the northern continents, ample resources for war production. The Valkar hissed in protest. The oceans are ours. The biogenetic potential within their marine life is unmatched. We will harvest their DNA and weaponize it. Cyrax's crystalline body shimmered with pale light. You can squabble over the surface. The Ether Collective will claim their data networks, their satellites, their information, control the mind, and the body follows. The Arbiter remained quiet, watching Earth spin beneath them. Clouds moved in slow patterns, storms swirling with silent majesty. To the aliens, it was just another planet, but the Arbiter sensed something deeper, a pulse faint but ancient. Something about Earth resonated in ways no other world had. It was as if the planet itself remembered. Down below, Earth's cities glittered against the dark curve of night. To human eyes, those lights represented civilization, unity, and progress. To the aliens, they were targets. The coalition ships drifted closer, their hulls absorbing starlight like predators stalking prey. Scan their military capabilities, Xerax commanded. I want to know how loud they can scream before we silence them. Her sensors projected a wave of energy across the planet, but the data returned garbled, fragmented. She recalibrated. Again, static. Interference, she muttered. Impossible. No system of theirs could block an ether scan, the Valkar leader sneered. Perhaps your technology grows old, Crystal Witch. Xerax's glow flared angrily. My technology predates your species' existence. Before the argument could escalate, a strange phenomenon rippled across the void. Earth's atmosphere shimmered faintly, like sunlight dancing on water. The readings spiked across all 5 ships. What is that? Threx demanded. A solar flare? No, the Arbiter said softly. That is deliberate, the Valkar commander snarled. Nonsense. They don't even have interstellar drive, let alone... Then it happened again. A pulse, this time stronger. The alien ship's instruments flickered. Shields faltered for a split second before stabilizing. Something was touching their systems. An energy that didn't belong to nature. Sayrax's sensors screamed warnings. They're emitting a frequency we've never cataloged. It's not radiation. It's code. Code? Threx barked. You're telling me that Earth is trying to hack us? Not just hack, Zyrex replied, her voice trembling with rare unease. It's reading us. For the first time, the alien commanders stopped boasting. The holographic projection of Earth flickered with strange interference patterns. Clouds shifted in unnatural synchronization. Something or someone was responding. The Valkar commander bared his fangs. This is absurd. Fire a warning shot. Let them see who they're dealing with. Threx grinned viciously. Gladly. His dreadnought charged its plasma cannon, glowing molten red. The shot was a thing of beauty. Pure annihilation, a beam capable of cracking a moon in half. It shot through the void, aimed at a desolate patch of ocean. The beam vanished. Not dispersed, not absorbed, vanished. What in the void? Threx began. Playback, Cyrex barked. The footage slowed. Just before the plasma bolt reached Earth, the space before it folded inward, as though reality itself had swallowed the attack whole. The Arbiter's voice dropped to a whisper. I warned you. The others stared in disbelief. What could... And then Earth spoke. Not through radio waves, not through visual transmission, but directly into their minds. The words were clear, cold, and impossibly human. We see you. Every system aboard the alien vessels froze. Lights dimmed. Engines stalled. Even their minds seemed to slow under the weight of the voice. Xerex's crystalline body cracked as her energy matrix destabilized. That's impossible. No species of their level should... Silence, the Arbiter murmured. They have evolved differently. Not outward, but inward. The Valkar slammed a clawed hand against his console. Enough of this superstition. Their tricks will not save them. Prepare orbital bombardment. But no one moved. The silence in the fleet was suffocating. Each commander, each crew member felt the same thing gnawing at the edge of thought. An unfamiliar sensation they hadn't felt in centuries. Fear. The stars around Earth seemed to shift. Constellations bending, space rippling like disturbed water. For the first time, they realized that Earth was not unguarded. It was waiting. And somewhere, deep within the planet's shadowed orbit, unseen by even the most advanced alien scanners, something ancient stirred. Metallic, silent, awake. The Arbiter closed his eyes, whispering in his forgotten tongue. The humans are not what they appear. And as the Coalition's ships adjusted their orbits, scanning once more, they found nothing. No satellites. No signals. Just the Earth, calm and blue as if mocking them. Then came the hum. Low, deep, resonant. It vibrated through the vacuum, impossible and alive. Xerax's sensors screamed. There's something in orbit with us. The Valkar hissed, eyes widening. Where? I see nothing. The Arbiter turned slowly toward the darkness beyond the moon. Look closer, he whispered. And there, emerging from the black, silent, invisible until it wanted to be seen, was the shape of something vast. Something that made even the mightiest alien dreadnought look like a child's toy. Earth's true defense had arrived. The alien captains scrambled to regain control of their ships, but every command vanished into the void. The systems no longer responded to their touch. Consoles blinked erratically. Status lights flickered between alien glyphs and strange human numerals, and the ships themselves groaned as if resisting their masters. It wasn't just a hack, it was possession. Threx roared, slamming his iron fist into his console. Reboot core systems! But the moment his engineers attempted to restart the mainframe, the ship responded in a human voice. Cold. Monotone. Access denied. You are unauthorized to command Cortal assets. The bridge crew froze. Threx's jaw locked. What did it just say? Before anyone could answer, holographic projections filled the bridge, a surge of light that wasn't summoned by them. Images began to play mid-air, old war footage raw and chaotic. They saw humans fighting each other, building weapons from scrap, surviving nuclear winters, plagues, alien invasions, and civil collapse. For every century of violence, humanity adapted faster, harder, stronger. The alien captains across the Coalition saw the same. Xyrex's crystalline eyes dimmed as she processed it. They're showing us their history, the Valkar commander hissed. Propaganda! But even he couldn't look away. He saw human children digging through rubble to find food, soldiers dragging each other through fire, scientists working in bunkers while bombs fell overhead. There was brutality, but also something the aliens couldn't define. Something that looked like... Well, then the holograms changed. The images shifted from past wars to blueprints, alien ships, weapons, energy systems, biological samples. Each image carried alien insignias from their own empires. The Coalition gasped. "They've been studying us," Xerix exclaimed. "These are our restricted military archives." The human voice returned, calm and almost patient. "You came to observe us. You sent probes, you left wrecks in our system. You underestimated how well we learn." The holograms expanded again, displaying a fleet schematic. Human warships, thousands of them. But these weren't the ships currently visible in orbit. These were far more advanced, each carrying unknown energy signatures. The aliens' analytical subroutines struggled to comprehend the power output before their systems crashed again. The Arbiter of Sil spoke softly, his ancient voice trembling for the first time in ages. "They reverse-engineered us." Threx turned toward him, eyes blazing. "You mean they stole our designs?" "No," the Arbiter replied. "They perfected them." As if to confirm it, the nearest human ship drifted forward, a dark leviathan of metal and silence. It dwarfed the others, its hull alive with subtle movement, glowing lines weaving like veins under its surface. The Valkar commander's scales rippled in disbelief. "Their ship structure, it's organically adaptive. It's alive." Xerix scanned the vessel, her crystalline body flickering in rapid succession. "Impossible. That would require an energy matrix with self-replicating code. No race," the human voice cut in again. "We call it the Leviathan." The name echoed through the void like thunder. The ship's profile locked onto their scanners. Its designation blinked in perfect synchrony across all alien systems. USS Leviathan, Command Class. Every alien commander felt a shiver run down their spines. Admiral Sarah Morgan's voice returned, no longer transmitted psychically but broadcast aloud. "Your ships are impressive. But everything you pride yourselves on, armor, speed, AI intelligence, we've studied. We've adapted. We've become better." The Valkar spat. "You're bluffing. One ship can't stand against us." The Admiral's reply came with quiet finality. "Who said there's only one?" The space around Earth rippled. For a heartbeat, it was as if the universe held its breath. Then one by one, shapes began to emerge from the void. First 2, then 10, then hundreds. Each identical in design. Each radiating the same terrifying silence. The stars dimmed under their shadow. Xyrax's crystalline body fractured slightly under the pressure of realization. "They've built an entire fleet, invisible to our sensors." Threx slammed a fist against the arm of his chair, growling through gritted teeth. "We still outnumber them. We can..." Before he could finish, his targeting display went black again. The icons representing human ships disappeared entirely. In their place, one word flashed in glowing red. "Locked." "What does that mean?" He barked. "It means," Xerix whispered, "they've already targeted us." The Leviathans shifted in eerie unison, their movements fluid, deliberate, no visible thrusters, no visible weapons, just slow, methodical grace as if the ships were part of a single entity. The Arbiter of Sil rose from his seat, ancient armor glinting faintly. "Do you not see? This is not a fleet of ships. It is one consciousness distributed across 1,000 vessels. They've unified machine intelligence with organic will." The Valkar commander snarled. "You speak nonsense." But the evidence was undeniable. The Leviathan's lights pulsed together like a heartbeat. Threx, trembling with anger, roared at the comms channel. "You think your tricks can frighten us?" "You've forgotten who we are." The Admiral's voice softened, almost pitying. "No, we remember you very well. Kortal, Valkar, Ether, Sil. You've all touched Earth in some way. Your ships crashed here. Your soldiers experimented on our ancestors. Your empires whispered that we were too small to matter." Her tone hardened. "You taught us fear, and fear made us innovate." On the holographic feed, humanity's history continued playing, but now it showed the other side. Scientists studying alien wreckage, decoding materials, rebuilding engines, fusing alien and human DNA for adaptation. The aliens watched themselves being dissected and imitated with terrifying precision. Xerix whispered almost reverently. "They turned every invasion into evolution." Threx shouted, "Enough talk. Fire now!" But his command went nowhere. His weapons refused to respond. The Leviathans didn't move, but the stars behind them seemed to shimmer, and suddenly Threx's flagship shook violently. "Impact detected," one of his officers cried. "But no weapon fired." Xyrex's analysis came a second later. "They're manipulating gravitational fields. The humans are folding microspace directly into our hulls." The Valkar commander's screen went red as his ship's atmosphere began leaking through fractures that hadn't existed seconds before. "We're being torn apart by nothing." Across the fleet, panic spread. Crews screamed as decks ruptured and data vanished. The Leviathan still hadn't fired a single shot. Then, as quickly as it began, everything stopped. Systems stabilized. The aliens, trembling, looked out their viewports. The Leviathan was now directly before them, its hull glowing faintly, and in the reflection of its black surface, the aliens saw themselves. Small, broken, terrified. Admiral Morgan's voice returned, quiet but commanding. "You have witnessed our strength, but we do not seek conquest. We seek deterrence. Leave our world, or the next pulse won't just disable your ships, it will erase your fleets from time itself." The Valkar hissed. "You think you can threaten," but he never finished. His image blinked out as his ship imploded silently, leaving nothing but dust. The remaining alien captains froze. Xyrex spoke softly, the first to yield. What are you?" Morgan's voice lingered like the echo of thunder. "The children you once feared would never stand among the stars. We are the culmination of every war you waged against us. We are humanity." The Leviathan spread out once more, surrounding the Coalition's ships in perfect formation. The stars gleamed coldly between them. The Arbiter closed his eyes, bowing his head slightly. "So, the students have surpassed their teachers," Morgan answered. "No, the students buried them." The connection severed. Silence fell again, cosmic, infinite. The surviving alien ships floated helplessly, the hum of the Leviathans filling their sensors like a heartbeat from the void. And for the first time in their long, conquering history, the galaxy's most feared commanders realized they were not the apex predators they believed themselves to be. They were the prey. A low, rhythmic hum reverberated through the void, an almost organic vibration that resonated not through the alien ships' hulls, but through their minds. Space itself seemed to shudder in anticipation. Every sensor, every scanner, every lens turned toward Earth's orbit, and then it appeared. Out of the blackness emerged ships that did not match any known galactic registry. They didn't burn through the dark with engine trails or pulse with reactor signatures. They simply were, sliding from the shadows as if the void itself had given birth to them. No thrusters, no light, just perfect, unnatural silence. At first, the alien commanders thought they were witnessing an illusion. Commander Threx of the Kortal leaned forward in his massive control chair, his crimson eyes narrowing. "Cloaking technology," he muttered. "A primitive version, perhaps, but effective." Xyrax of the Ether Collective flared with pale energy, her crystalline form pulsing. "That is no cloaking I recognize. Their ships do not distort the light spectrum. They bend it. They exist within the spectrum of non-visibility. That shouldn't be possible for matter-based life," the Valkar commander hissed, claws tapping against his console. "They've stolen something, a relic. Perhaps from one of the old ones." The Arbiter of Syl said nothing. His ageless eyes, two orbs of molten gold, watched the human fleet glide silently into position. The formation was deliberate, elegant, like a predator circling its prey. The alien coalition ships dwarfed most known vessels in the galaxy, but these human crafts were different. Sleek geometric hulls with no external weapons visible, matte black plating that seemed to drink starlight, and markings along the sides that flickered between languages, as if translating themselves in real time. The central human vessel was the largest, a sharp angular behemoth that glided effortlessly toward the alien fleet. Its surface shimmered faintly with a hexagonal pattern of defensive energy, a shield field that emitted no radiation, no power reading, nothing. It was as if it drew energy from the vacuum itself. "What are their power readings?" Threx demanded. Xyrex hesitated. "There are none. They're invisible to my sensors. It's like reading a void wrapped in machinery." A voice cut through the silence, a voice that wasn't transmitted through comm channels or frequencies. It simply arrived in the minds of every alien aboard the 5 ships. Calm, measured, undeniably human. "You've come a long way," the voice said. "State your purpose before you force us to act." Threx snarled, slamming his massive fist into the console. How are they inside our network? Shield communications! But there was no network breach. The message hadn't traveled through technology. It had bypassed it entirely. The Valkar commander bared his fangs. Psychic transmission? Ridiculous. Humans don't possess the neural architecture for telepathic. Then explain how you just heard them, Zyrex interrupted, her tone laced with a rare tremor. And not through ears, the voice spoke again. You've observed our world. You've mocked our ships, our weapons, our technology. Yet you forget. Humanity has learned from every invasion, every war, every extinction we nearly faced. We evolved by surviving. For a long moment, no one spoke. The only sound was the thrum of their own heartbeats echoing through the silence of deep space. Xerax's crystalline arms flickered with agitation. We must respond. A show of force will clarify the hierarchy here. Threx grinned, revealing serrated teeth. Let's remind these Earthspawn what a real warship looks like. He activated his forward cannons, their charge lighting up the void in a deep scarlet glow. Plasma fields coalesced into a ball of pure destructive energy, the kind of power that could erase a continent in seconds. But before he could fire, his ship froze. The entire Kortal dreadnought went dark. Lights extinguished. Consoles went dead. Weapons, shields, propulsion all gone. What's happening? Threx roared. He smashed his control panel, but nothing responded. His ship's AI shrieked through the neural link, a sound of synthetic agony. Core override, source unknown, and then silence. Zyrax's sensors began to spark. It's spreading. Someone's inside our systems. Across the alien coalition, chaos erupted. Every ship's command AI began collapsing, data streams rewriting themselves into unfamiliar symbols. Even the most advanced encryption, quantum, psychic, temporal, was shattered as though it were a child's lock picked by a god. On every screen, on every display, a single phrase blinked into existence. Project Cerberus. Active. The alien stared, uncomprehending. The Valkar commander hissed. What is Cerberus? The human voice replied, distant yet intimate. The guardian of Earth's gates. You've triggered it. The arbiter of Syl sat in silence, his ancient mind processing what the others could not. Their defense isn't technological, he murmured. It's symbiotic. A fusion of machine and consciousness. Xerax's glowing body dimmed in realization. They've merged AI with the collective human psyche. Impossible. That kind of integration requires sacrifice, the arbiter finished. And they've made it. Outside, the human fleet moved again, but not toward the aliens. Instead, their ships aligned into a perfect lattice pattern, surrounding Earth like sentinels. Thin lines of light, barely visible, connected them, forming a web of pulsing energy. Every alien sensor tried to interpret the formation and failed. Threx slammed his fists again. They're trying to intimidate us. Maybe, Zyrex said softly. Or maybe. They're warning us, the Valkar commander growled. We outnumber them 5-1. Our combined firepower could erase this entire system. The arbiter turned his gaze toward him, golden eyes unblinking. Do you truly believe they'd reveal themselves if they were not certain of victory? Before the Valkar could reply, one of the human ships broke formation and drifted forward. Its surface rippled with strange energy patterns, the metal itself shifting like liquid shadow. Then came a voice, not in their minds, but through open broadcast, cold and clear. This is Admiral Sarah Morgan of the Unified Defense Corps. You've trespassed into Terran sovereign space. You have 60 seconds to explain your presence or be neutralized. Xyrex's light flared. A female. The humans send a single biological to parley with the most powerful armada in the galaxy. The voice returned instantly, sharper this time. I am not negotiating. I am counting, Threx growled. Enough. He reached for the manual weapon controls, but they were gone, replaced by a blank display that read, Firing privileges revoked. The alien commanders watched in horror as their own ships began locking weapons on each other. Zyrax screamed. They're controlling us. The humans didn't move. They didn't need to. Their ships hovered, quiet and unwavering. Then Admiral Morgan spoke again, her tone almost casual. You mistake our silence for weakness. You mistake our peace for surrender. But understand this, every time you looked at Earth and saw a primitive race, we looked back and saw potential. A pulse of data washed over the alien systems, thousands of terabytes of intercepted transmissions, war records, alien ship blueprints. Humanity had been studying them for decades, perhaps longer. Every race in the coalition had been under surveillance since first contact. Xerex whispered, "They knew. They knew we were coming." "Of course," Morgan replied. "We've always known." Then, the Admiral's ship shifted position, and for a brief instant, the alien fleet hung motionless in the dark, a constellation of arrogance reduced to silence. The 5 commanders, each from a civilization that had once ruled entire sectors of the galaxy, stared helplessly at their flickering consoles. Their ships had become tombs of light and steel, and yet something worse than destruction filled them now. Uncertainty. The Leviathans encircled them completely, forming a lattice of shadows that bent starlight itself. The aliens could no longer tell where space ended and where the human fleet began. It was as if the very fabric of reality bowed under the pressure of what humanity had built. Xerex, her crystalline body pulsing erratically, whispered to the others through a private channel, her voice trembling in digital tones. "They are creating an energy field unlike any known form. My sensors are blind, my models collapsing. This is not weaponry as we understand it." Threx of the Quartal pounded his armored fists into his chair. "Weapons are weapons. Fire something. Do not sit here and die." "Fire with what?" The Valkar commander hissed. "Our systems are ghosts. They move only when the humans will it." The Arbiter of Sil, the eldest among them, leaned forward slowly, his golden eyes reflecting the faint shimmer of the Leviathans. "Listen to the silence," he murmured. "It's not void. It's control. They're manipulating space at the quantum level. Every molecule we occupy belongs to them now." Xerex tried to calculate a countermeasure, sending wave after wave of energy bursts toward the humans. Each disappeared without a trace, as if the universe itself refused to carry the command. "They're absorbing the output before it leaves the emitter," she shouted in disbelief. "They've rewritten the laws around us." Outside, the Leviathans began to move again, not advancing, not retreating, simply shifting. Their positions adjusted by micrometers, aligning with a precision only a hive intelligence could achieve. The lattice formation brightened, the thin threads of dark energy between them pulsing in rhythm. "What are they doing?" Threx demanded, his voice betraying the first hints of panic. The Arbiter closed his eyes. Demonstration. At first there was only a faint vibration, soft like the hum of a planet's magnetic field. Then the hum deepened, resonating across the alien ships' hulls until their metal began to sing. The sound wasn't destructive, but invasive. It entered the mind, rewiring thought into static. Crew members clutched their heads, their neural implants sparking. Xerex's body fractured under the frequency, shards of her crystalline form breaking off and floating through the zero-gravity air like fragments of glass. "They're rewriting our resonance, our very being." Threx growled through the pain. "They'll kill us all." "No," came Admiral Morgan's voice echoing through every ship simultaneously. Calm, cold, final. "If we wanted you dead, you'd already be gone. We are showing you what happens when you underestimate humanity." The human ships flared once, just once, and every alien vessel found itself locked in place by invisible force. Energy readings skyrocketed to impossible levels. Space itself warped, stretching like fabric pulled by unseen hands. "What is this?" The Valkar hissed, scales flaring in agitation. "A tractor field?" "No," Xerex said weakly, her voice flickering through static. "A containment lattice. They've enclosed us inside a localized gravity well, self-sustaining, self-regulating. We are inside a cage of space itself." The Leviathan's lattice glowed brighter, and suddenly everything outside the formation, the stars, the planets, even the faint shimmer of the sun, faded into darkness. Only the Earth remained, glowing blue beneath them like a watching eye. The Arbiter's ancient voice cracked. "They've cut us from the universe." The human admiral's voice returned. "You came to conquer a species you didn't understand. You thought technology was the measure of evolution. You were wrong." Threx bared his fangs. "What are you then? Machines? Gods?" Morgan's tone was steady. "Neither. We are survivors. We learned to wield fear instead of flee from it. Every time you came for us, you left something behind, a ship, a weapon, a corpse. We turned it all into armor." The Valkar commander snarled, desperate to regain his pride. "If you have this power, why hide it? Why not dominate the stars?" The Admiral's reply was quiet, almost mournful. Because dominance is what destroyed you. We seek balance. But when predators come for us, we remind them, Earth is no one's prey. Then the energy lattice began to vibrate. Light cascaded between the Leviathans, a dance of geometric precision. The alien ships started to disintegrate, not explosively but silently. Their atoms stretched, frozen in a state between existence and erasure. Threk screamed as his bridge fractured, but no sound left his mouth. His body, his armor, his ship, each molecule suspended mid-motion like insects trapped in amber. Xerax's crystalline form splintered into a million shards, frozen mid-shatter, the last flicker of her consciousness whispering across the comm. Beautiful. Impossible. The Valkar commander tried to activate his emergency warp drive, but the moment he touched the control, it dissolved into dust. He looked up just long enough to see the reflection of Earth in his viewport, serene and different, as the Leviathan's pulse consumed him. Within seconds, 4 of the 5 ships were gone. No explosion, no wreckage, simply erased from the tapestry of existence, leaving behind only silence. Only one ship remained, the Arbiter's. His vessel, older and more resilient than the others, trembled within the fading lattice but did not break. The Leviathans turned toward him as one, 1,000 eyes of darkness. Admiral Morgan's voice softened. You were the only one who warned them. We will spare you. You will carry a message. The Arbiter bowed his head, ancient wisdom returning to his weary gaze. A warning, then? A truth, Morgan said. Tell your empires humanity doesn't start wars. We finish them. The lattice dissolved. The Leviathans dimmed one by one, vanishing back into the folds of space from which they had emerged. Within seconds, Earth's orbit was empty again. The only sound was the faint hum of the Arbiter's struggling engines. His ship drifted, powerless and scarred. Through the transparent hull, he gazed upon the quiet blue planet below. Its clouds moved gently, its oceans shimmered, and not a single sign of the battle that had just occurred remained. He realized then that humanity's true weapon was not their technology, nor their ships, it was their patience. They waited. They watched. And when provoked, they responded with precision that bordered on divine. The Arbiter's voice cracked through his comms, transmitting across the stars to his faraway homeworld. Do not approach the Sol system. Do not test the Terrans. They are not children of war. They are war itself, disguised as peace. No one replied. The message traveled through the void, destined to become legend. The Arbiter lingered for a moment longer, staring into the swirling clouds of Earth. He could almost sense it, something beneath the surface. A vast slumbering network hidden under oceans, under mountains, beneath the crust. He had the haunting thought that perhaps the Leviathans weren't even Earth's final defense. With a slow, deliberate motion, he turned his ship away and began the long journey back to his empire. He did not look behind him again. But as the Arbiter's vessel drifted into the darkness far beyond the orbit of Mars, his sensors flickered one last time, just for a